There are over 100 different museum studies related graduate programs in the U.S. So why would someone want to apply to the UW Museology program? In this video, I want to explore 5 characteristics that we think makes this program unique. By focusing on some key features of our program, we hope this video can help you determine if the program aligns with your interests, what you want to study, and how you want to study in graduate school. But first, I want to start off with some basics. We are a 2-year, full-time master's program located at the University of Washington Seattle campus. Students complete 6 quarters during their time in museology, starting in late September for autumn quarter through the end of spring quarter in early June, with a break over summer quarter. We are an interdisciplinary program, meaning that we have students that come from pretty much every major you can imagine, and our curriculum is focused on the role and impacts of museums broadly, rather than a focus on a particular type of museum, such as art museums or history museums. If you're looking for current tuition rates and information about upcoming application cycles, be sure to check out our website, as that will list the most current information. We only accept applications for students starting in our autumn quarter cohort. If you are interested in applying, our priority deadline each year is usually around January 15th, unless that date falls over a weekend or a holiday. So a little bit about who we are. We currently have 3 core faculty, including our director, Jessica Luke, our assistant teaching professors, Meena Selvakumar and Lane Eagles. These faculty teach our core classes, some electives, advise and mentor students, and chair student thesis committees. They are the faculty you will work most closely with as a museology student. Beyond our faculty, we work with a number of guest faculty, usually around 10 to 15 each year, who are often working museum professionals that may teach 1 or 2 classes in their area of expertise. And then finally, we have 3 staff who support the program and students. We have a program manager, a program coordinator, and a graduate advisor. Also not pictured here is our greatest asset, our amazing students, who make this a vibrant learning community within our program. Now that we've covered a little bit of the basics about who we are, I'd like to walk through the 5 key traits that, taken together, we think make our program unique. First, our curriculum, which focuses on the difference we think museums make in the world. We believe that the power of museums lies in the role that they play in learning, well-being, community building, and social justice. Rather than our curriculum taking a siloed approach, our program is more holistic. If you take a look at the different structures of different museum studies programs, there are some where you might be able to pursue a particular track, such as museum education or exhibit design. If you look at our course curriculum in contrast, we have classes that integrate various aspects of museums' work to examine how they can have an impact on building strong communities. So, to give an example, you can see here a few of our current course offerings, like Learning in Museums, Making Meaning, New Models of Interpretation, and our 522 Community Engagement class. These classes broadly focus on public engagement that could be applicable to a wide variety of professional interests within the museum field. As you'll see here, our degree requires that you take 60 credits, which includes 12 credits of required coursework, like our Intro to Museology class, Thesis Design, and Careers and Social Capital class, 6 credits of internship, 10 thesis credits, and then 32 or more credits of electives. This structure gives you the opportunity to be flexible with the bulk of your degree requirements and allows you to select for classes suited to your interests. Throughout our curriculum, you can also see a thread of the importance we place on the integration of both research and practice. So you can see this in things like our specialization in museum evaluation, where you can learn a little bit more about how to collect and present information to help organizations make data-informed decisions. The second aspect I wanted to point out is the context. We are about museums, but we are about more than that. Museums sit at the intersection of a lot of organizational contexts, such as parks, libraries, nonprofits, community centers, and more. Not to mention all of the various types of organizations that fit under the umbrella of museums, such as science centers, historic sites, art museums, children's museums, and so on. But at their core, all of these are community-focused organizations, and we believe that the skills that you learn in museology can help you pursue careers that may lead you into a variety of different organizations and contexts. And we see this in some of the things that our alumni go on to do and how they see this degree helping them in their careers. As one of our alums, Shin Yu-Pai, said, to this day, the lessons that I learned in working with community, how to create a welcoming and inclusive space, stems directly from those early experiences with the organizations that I came into contact with through museology. And you can see the breadth of what our alumni go on to do. We have alumni that work in everything from interpretive planning for environmental consulting to inclusion and outreach with Pixar Studios, right? So there's a pretty broad range of what our alums go on to do. But it is this interconnected perspective on how museums and other organizations can make an impact that lends itself to this broader applicability beyond a museum setting. The third thing that stands out is our approach to graduate education, which is taking a people-centered lens. This is the core of how we facilitate the student experience for those students in our program. We really see every student as a unique learner, and we encourage you to identify and advocate for how you learn best within our program. That means giving you the flexibility to select the courses that are best suited to you. As a student, you will work with a faculty mentor to select courses and thesis work that helps you develop your interests, and work with the graduate advisor to find internship experiences to apply what you learn in practice. We work hard to build community among our students. We are a fairly small, close-knit program. Each cohort is about 30 students who move through the program over 2 years, so we only have about 60 or so students in our program at a time. Through events like our annual internship fair, quarterly student meetings, student groups, and other events, you'll form bonds in this program that extend well beyond your time here. In other words, if you want to go through graduate school unnoticed, this might not be the program for you. While you have the resources of a large university, your experience in this program will probably be more intimate than going through a program that's part-time, online, or maybe within a larger department. The fourth characteristic that makes this program unique is our place. We are based in Seattle, where we have more than 100 museums within our county, based upon data from the Institute of Museum and Library Services. The range of organizations vary on so many different fronts, from art museums to science centers, large museums to volunteer-run organizations, public institutions to for-profit organizations. This gives you an opportunity to be exposed to a variety of museum models and contexts, similar to the range of different types of organizations that you'll see represented across the U.S. Museology works with our community partners in many different ways, from bringing in guest speakers to classes, to course projects, to internships, to thesis projects, and more. And finally, the last thing that we think makes our program unique is our goals. We aim to make museums more inclusive, welcoming, and equitable organizations. This impacts all levels of how we approach our program, such as things like lowering barriers in our application process, just in an effort to strive to attract a diverse student body, and continuing our work in this program to make it a more welcoming space in higher education for all of our students. It also shows through some of our initiatives, like our paid internship pilot program. We recognize that unpaid internships create barriers for people entering the museum field. So we launched this initiative to support students and start a conversation about paid internships within our field. And finally, it shows up in what we teach and how we learn within the program. We explore the colonial white supremacist foundations of the museum field and implications for how we can move museums forward from where they are currently. You can see examples of how our students engage in this work through things like their thesis. We have had students examine approaches to queer history in historic houses, feeling of inclusion and exclusion for Black and brown students in museums, decolonizing natural history museums through volunteer engagement, and so much more. So, in summary, I've talked about 5 key characteristics that we think make the UW Museology program unique. First, our curriculum and focus on how museums can have a positive impact. Second, our emphasis on skills that are applicable not just to museums, but also to an ecology of community-focused organizations. 3, our people-centered approach. 4, our place here in Seattle. And 5, our goal to make museums more inclusive, welcoming, and equitable organizations. Should you have additional questions, we welcome you to check out our website or send us an email so you can talk about your interests and whether the Museology Graduate Program is a good fit for you.